Wba Wbc Ibf Wbo. Boxing belts and the future of championship. Are multiple belts helping or hurting the sport? I should have added in there Zuffa Boxing belt. Anyway, boxing is one of the oldest professional sports in the world, but it's also one of the most complex when it comes to world championships. At the moment, many fighters are called world champions, sometimes 4 in the same division. Why? Because boxing doesn't have one single world title. Instead, it has multiple belts, and that's both a blessing and a curse. Today, we explore how the big 4 belts, WBA, WBC, IBF, and WO, come to define modern boxing, how Zuffa Boxing's entry might disrupt that world, and whether boxing would be better off with one champion per weight class. Let's begin. The modern world championship system in boxing consists of 4 major sanctioning bodies: the WBA, World Boxing Association, the WBC, World Boxing Council, the IBF, International Boxing Federation, and the WBO, World Boxing Organization. These 4 are recognized globally as the principal world titles for professional boxing. Each organization has its own champion in each weight class, meaning multiple fighters can be called world champion at the same time. That's both the beauty and complexity of boxing's championship landscape. So what do these terms unified and undisputed mean? If a fighter holds 2 or more of these major belts at once, they are called a unified champion. If a fighter holds all 4 major belts simultaneously, they are undisputed champion. This means in any given division, 1 belt holder equals world champion, 2 or 3 world belt equals unified champion, and all 4 belts mean undisputed champion. Undisputed status is extremely rare and immensely respected. Usyk. Over a handful of fighters in the modern era have achieved it. In the early days of boxing, there was typically 1 recognized world champion per division. Over time, additional sanctioning bodies were created, leading to more titles. Each organization operates independently, keeps its own rankings, and awards its own world titles. That means fighters can win 1 belt here and another there, but rarely every belt at once. This is both celebrated when unification happens and criticised when confusion grows. What is Zuffa Boxing? Enter Zuffa Boxing 2025. Promotion backed by UFC leadership. Dana White introduced its own championship belt system separate from the traditional sanctioning bodies. Initially, Zuffa announced it would ignore the existing world titles and crown its own champions. That approach raised eyebrows and strong reactions. There's been criticism from the boxing community. The Zuffa belt, somebody and some people think, will mean nothing without the backing of established ranking systems. It's been argued that belts derive legitimacy from recognised sanctioning bodies, not from promotional brand. A belt without recognised challengers, sanctioning structure, ranking authority has been said to be merely symbolic. Now that it has been said that the fighters can also compete for traditional belts if they're with Zuffa. So there's a hybrid approach which might signal coexistence rather than replacement. But the situation is evolving. So should boxing have 1 belt? The central question: would the sport be better with 1 true world championship per division, or does boxing's multi-belt system work in its favour? Here are 10 advantages cited for the existing multi-belt system. More champions means more marketable events. Higher number of title fights creates more headline cards and media interest. Fighters have multiple paths to a title. Competing belts allow talented fighters to win world titles, even if one governing body doesn't rank them highly. Encourages regional diversity. Each sanctioning body historically emerged from different markets, winding in boxing's global appeal. Unification fights become mega events. Unification bouts When the belts emerge, become special, rare matchups that fans crave. More opportunities for fighters' careers. Multiple belts can prolong careers and provide more earning potential for fighters. Protects the legacy of older sanctioning bodies. Long-standing organisations like the WFC have historical weight and prestige. Sanctioning bodies fund boxing's infrastructure. Fees from the fights support ranking systems and referee judge networks. Titles can attract new fans. Casual fans may follow belt pictures on broadcast screens, making boxing feel more understandable. Can reward activity. Multiple belts sometimes ensure champions stay active or risk being stripped. Encourage competition within the sport. Fight across multiple belts can emerge as champions in overlapping classes, adding depth. Now, there are the cons of multiple belts. There are significant critiques. Dilutes meaning of world champion with 4 champions per division. Title of world champion feels less definitive. Unification is rare and complex. Mandatory obligations and sanctioning fees often prevent unified fights. Fans are confused by too many titles. Casual observers struggle to understand who the real champion is. I think they should do some research if you're a casual. Sanctioning fees increase fighter costs. Champions sometimes pay multiple fees if they put all the belts on the line. Politics and stripping belts often occur. Champions can be stripped for failing to meet mandatory obligations rather than losing in the ring. Some belts carry little prestige beyond the big 4. Belts like IBO or regional versions, some say, I'm not saying, not my words, some say might have limited respect. Quick title vacancies can undermine belts' value. Belts can be vacated and filled, quickly making lineage harder to track. Ranking manipulation is possible. Sanctioning bodies sometimes produce controversial rankings that frustrate fans. Unified champions rarely defend all titles together, meaning undisputed reigns are fleeting. Diminishing returns for legacy historical comparisons become challenging when many fighters hold titles without beating elite opponents. So, in a situation that I described in another video where it's very unfortunate that Wilder and Anthony Joshua never fought, or Tyson Fury's never fought Anthony Joshua. They're both British heavyweights, but maybe we'll see these fights now with Usyk holding on to all the belts. So, would boxing be better with a single belt per weight class? There's a case for one belt, simplifies championship hierarchy of fans, creates one true champion per division, reduces sanctioning politics and fee barriers, aligns with models seen in other combat sports like UFC. But there's a case for multiple belts, preserve legacy, organisations, increase opportunities for fighters, drive more headline bouts overall. The answer isn't simple. Boxing's multiple belts create drama, but also complexity. As promoters, fighters, sanctioning bodies, and fans debate the future, one thing remains clear. The sport is evolving, and how champions are crowned will define boxing's next era. So whether you're a purist who prefers one true champion or a fan of belts, banners, and championship nights, understanding boxing's world titles is essential. The sport's history is rich. Its modern structure is complex, and its future, especially with entities like Zuffa Boxing emerging, is being written now. Big up all the watchers and listeners on the channel. Please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hype this video. Really appreciate it. The channel is really growing. That was a dive into whether there should be a single belt or multiple belts and the pros and cons of the same. But for now, done talking.